again, we're here and we're seeing what's happening now. The one thing I think we actually didn't mention is that this is, I think, the first tournament since the big patch that added ammo to certain things. So we are seeing that as well, which is kind of like a minor thing. But here are the picks and bans. I'm excited to see. I actually don't know which match are we on? Are we on the first or the second of the losers quarters?
I'm trying to figure that out real quickly. But again, for those of you that are new to the stream, right now, this is our format. We do have a 7-map pool. You can see all 7 maps right down there. Each team gets to ban out one, and then a higher seed will be able to pick the first map that we play on. The second, next seed, of course, or the other team will pick the second map. And if it comes down to it, because this is a best of 3, we will have another ban phase along with the last map being picked up there. But right now, it does seem like Thermal Plant and Quarry are the 2 maps that have been banned out. So we'll see exactly which one. I think, we're going with the Powerpuff Girls match. Is it Powerpuff Girls? I want to make sure it's Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, I think it is.
Powerpuff Girls versus the Judo Practitioners. So Thermal Plant and Quarry banned out in our first map. Hey, we're going back to Flak Fort.
We're seeing a lot of Flak Fort. It seems to be kind of the popular, especially like as a first pick, I think, for the set, just to kind of feel your opponent out. It seems like a lot of people are liking Flak Fort. I'm a fan of Flak Fort. I do enjoy playing on Flak Fort for sure, so I get it. And I'm actually surprised that we've seen so many Thermal Plant bans, and yet we've seen a game on Thermal Plant. That's what's surprising to me.
Yeah, definitely. We did get to see that one. I don't know if we're going to see as much of the domination maps. Again, we were definitely treated to that one. It was fairly one-sided, I believe, in that matchup for who was it? Was it the Gundam Unicorn squad that ended up taking that one earlier on? And so we'll see if we get a little bit more of that. But for now, it seems like map 2 has been picked, and it's going to be Mountain R&D. So we do have a domination one coming in. That one's going to be interesting because we have been seeing some Deathball, and that is one of those maps, especially when it comes down to domination map types, where Deathball can remain fairly prevalent.
Yes, especially in Mountain R&D. I'm not going to talk about it too much right now because it's not going to be the first match that we're going to see, but it is potentially the flankiest, deathballiest, I think, in my opinion, of any of the domination maps. Just the way that how that map is built, and you don't have the long run that you have on the space station. I can't remember what it's called because we don't have no. Oh my gosh, I cannot remember what it's called. Wait, I have it written down, because it's our tiebreaker technically. Lunar Comm Station. There we go. Why did I blank out on that name? It's because we haven't seen it the entire day, so it just left my brain. I was like, I don't even think about it. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a very chaotic game when we get to it. But first map, Flak Fort, very, very different than the chaos that we'll probably see on Mountain R&D Lab. And again, I like this as just a way to feel out your opponent's team, just to see how they play, see how you're going to fare up against them.
Yeah, either way, though, we're seeing teams give each other a lot of respect. And I don't know if it's respecting each other or just respecting the map, right? Because no one's holding out on the bridge. This isn't matchmaking where you can just kind of stay out there the entire time as like a gym sniper or as a pale rider. So it's been teams playing this one fairly conservatively, playing it on point, maintaining high ground control for your pale rider, whether it's here on top, on the left-hand side for them to play off the mini, or playing off on the right-hand side. I think right now teams are realizing the wraparound there to try and get up onto that left-hand side leaves the Pale Rider a little bit too exposed, and so teams are opting a little bit more for that left side hold.
Are we going to see a gun tank? Oh, this might be the first gun tank of the day. I would have had to assume that Gun Tank Woo was using gun tank, but we unfortunately didn't get a chance to see them at all. Oh, look, they got the emote as well. I'm about it. Or not the emote, but the stamp. I love gun tank. Big gun tank fan. Just as far as being an actual suit, that would have been one of my picks if it wasn't in the game already. That would have been the answer from earlier, but we'll see how it works out here. It definitely can get some nice angles, but we don't see it a lot in competitive play because it can be a little bit low damage overall if you're not in the really perfect positions. I want to see how it works.
Yeah, I think the nice thing about it is that, well, they're not playing dumb, so they're not going to have access to a Screaming Nimbus quite yet. And so you'll just have a charge in with quasi-invulnerability available to you to try and open up space for your squad. Now, you got to be careful here, turn A. He actually doesn't actually step on those mines, so they weren't quite available to them there, but you can see now this is that that hold coming out from the Pale Rider. They hold this high ground and it becomes almost impenetrable. No one really there to follow up on a dive if the Exia tries to get in. Barbados gets cleared as well, but the Marseille hook is enough to take that Ashamar down.
That was actually such a funny angle. It hooked it onto the top of the wall rather than actually hooking it to the ground. That was almost a really unfortunate situation for the Mars side, but the fact that it worked out, it all worked out in the end. But that hook can sometimes betray you as the Mars side. And we are going to see the Dom still just holding up here. This hold is really nice. Dom, of course, can land, I want to say, more mines in this building than almost anywhere else in any other map. There are just a lot of spots that you can drop in, and it's very hard for people to avoid it.
Especially here from the high ground, right? I mean, you're just controlling almost all the chokes with this Dom if you're able to get into position. He does have 3 charges down. I don't think he actually has any mines down currently, which is one of the big problems for me when I play Dom. I forget about it all the time. Barbados tries to go in for that execute, gets swapped off, and now the Sazabi left alone, but you can see the kind of defensiveness that's coming out. Ooh, a Marihu pickup to try and play against this, to try and open things up from the offense.
Yeah, this is the suit that got, I would say, probably buffed the most in this most recent patch, but of course it was considered one of the weakest in the entire game for a long time. If you can land shots with this thing, though, it can be a monster, and I like that you're using it inside. Also, if you can land that F, that AoE explosion stun, it is literally like landing an ult.
They don't even need that. Barbados goes in, picks up 2. The scan, actually, I think is pretty clutch here. It's not, the same range, of course, as the Gym Sniper, but in this context, where basically a scan out from the Marhu will go ahead and pick up the entire team, that is so much value for them and allowed Barbados to isolate and really figure out what his main target's going to be. Now, they do end up losing out Gasman on that Mara side, but they do have that forward spawn. They're just kind of regrouping here, and they will be able to push up. 5 minutes and 19 seconds to go, but there's another pick coming out from that Pale Rider. They do have him behind cover. They'll be able to get the res onto Chaotic and now regroup.
Yeah, now there's still on the Mahiru here, but it can be kind of hard to hit something with Mahiru right now. And wow, we're on a 9 kill streak on that Dom. Oh, everybody just flying together. Oh, trying to ult the turn A ult out of the air. I respect that choice. It's very unfortunate it didn't work. I think the flight ended just a little bit too soon, but if we got to see that, that would have been like the pinnacle of today. Try again.
Judo practitioners are on the point. They've already gotten 1 tick, about to get a 2nd tick for themselves. As I believe we got the Hades going down. Gun take will fall first, but he is behind cover, and Methus is there for that res. We've got Barbados going in, finding 1, but he ends up trading his life for that effort. Turn A, missing the Judo throw, but it's enough for him to at least cause some havoc as he does end up falling down. The defense is able to hold for now and stem the bleeding.
Yeah, I mean, that's already, was that quite 3 ticks? No, not quite 3 ticks. Just a little bit more time on there could have been huge. I mean, still a good amount, right? There's 4 minutes left. That is a huge amount of time. And all they need to do is just get 2 more ticks. But that's one thing that I really, really like about Guntank, right? And I think a lot of people really like about Guntank is that if you can push forward and get that into that position with it, its res is actually truly like a combat res. Like you can pick somebody up instantly before the enemy team can actually do anything about it. In a lot of situations, not every situation, but it can keep you going for a lot longer than you'd expect. It is its own support in its own weird way. But here we go. A big push from the top, but they're just getting jumped on. Almost every single person on this defensive team just jumped on those 2 people. That's rough.
Oh boy, they opened up with a lot of G maneuvers there as well. The funnels were being used. Now point is being contested, but here comes the regroup now from the defense. We'll see if Sazabi can get into the action here, but he's so far away. The regroup for the offense is just not there. They've got, looks like 5 here, but they need the full team. Again, the Pale Rider has just come up, the stun out, but he will stay safe for now. 3 minutes and 11 seconds left. You just have to get another 2 ticks here to secure point B with some time as well.
Yeah, the Barbados is in a very scary spot. If it can jump over and get a strong pick, wow, there are a lot of people up on that ledge right there. I don't know if they can take advantage of that in any particular way. I don't know if they have any big AoE damage. I mean, if the Barbados managed to sneak over there, they could get like a triple kill. It does look like it managed to pick up at least 1, picking up the Ashamar. The Ashamar gonna pick back up again, though. This is, however, a lot of picks on the side of Powerpuff Girls on offense. They could potentially take something here.
Yeah, but for them, they need to be able to get the respawn. Guntank getting focused down now, and he will fall. Sazabi will be the next as well. Dom pushing forward for that one. And so the defense will hold for the time being. The Powerpuff Girls resetting. You can see now they are trying to set up for that high ground once more. They don't want to be put in that similar situation. They don't want to be forced onto the low. Trying to shoot up can be difficult. And it's the regroup. We do have 3 G maneuvers coming up, actually a 4th now, as that core fighter is out trying to find a pick for itself. I don't know if it finds an angle, as the energy cable's been utilized along with that turn A butterfly ultimate, but he has been stunned out of the sky. Still though, got some value and created space for his squad. They are on the point. They've picked up 1 tick as the rest of the team funnels on in, but the defense is coming out now, finding some of their own. Methis is trying to go in, try and get that res onto the gun tank, but he will get finished off, and it looks like the defense will hold once more.
Yeah, that was so many G maneuvers committed to in that play right there, and I don't think many of them got that much mileage. The fact that there are 2 kind of awkward ones to hit at the same time, I think you pull out the turn A ult, and it kind of makes people run away, and then maybe you're not going to be able to find anything with the G maneuver coming out of the gun tank. But now they only have 120 seconds left. They've got 1 minute and 20 seconds left, and they're going to have to find a really big push without almost any G maneuvers. Maybe like 1 or 2 up again, but maybe not even.
Yeah, maybe they get the Sea Snake at this point. With the Mars side, he's at 71%, but I don't even know if that's going to be enough. Funnels coming in with the Sazabi, he's at 80% right now, but they still just have to get maintain presence on the point, and they might have to do it without taking height. This is their last opportunity to really try and fight for it. You can see them actually splitting up just a little bit. A pair going over to the right, a pair going to the left, but it is just the Hades cleanup along with the funnels coming out from the defense now. The Powerpuff Girls forcing them back, and there's going to be one more opportunity unless they get taken down here. Both the supports are able to back away. Methis there along with his gun tank staying alive, and here comes the rest of the squad now going in for one last push with 27 seconds left to go.
Yeah, not much time at all. Somebody needs to get on point. I'm sure somebody can find a way on point, right? They've got the Methis, they've got the Barbados, but they are holding extremely well. Again, so many people stacking up on these ledges. And this Ashamar on a 19, about to be 20 player kill streak, just absolutely on fire. And that is going to be for sure be a hold. There's like 1 person on point, I think, and they're going to go down as well. Not technically a team kill, but pretty much a team kill. And that was a great way to hold. Yeah, just so many G maneuvers that they couldn't stop with offensive G maneuvers just because they committed them all that one time and it just didn't work out at all. I think maybe staggering them a little bit more could have worked, but it's just a communication thing and an experience thing, and it was a good attempt, but still close, still close. Getting 3 ticks, not quite all 4, is still very, very close to making it work.
Yeah, 3 ticks there for the Judo practitioners on Happy Hold, but now it's their turn for the defense, and really, they're going to want to try and just get a full stop them at point A, because fighting for point B will be extremely difficult. It doesn't seem like we are getting much in the way of changes in composition for them. They still have the Ashmore there available, and right now, again, it's coming down. I think there's almost core 5 in kind of play we've been seeing today. The Exia, the Pale Rider, along with the Methis Dom and the Zazabi, and then your 6th is your Flex. What else do you want to complement your composition? We're seeing some Unicorn, we're seeing some Turn A, and that's coming out for the Judo practitioners here on their defense.
Yeah, we've seen just a few little switches here and there. It's cool to see, and I think sometimes we've seen maybe the Methis be switched out for the Unicorn, but I agree this is definitely looking like a core, at least for this like current meta without the Zaku 2 in it. Once the that bug is fixed, it'll come back, and I'm sure we'll see something completely different again, or hopefully maybe we're gonna get some new suits with season 2. So we'll just see how it continues to evolve, but this is looking pretty solid, and definitely the teams that have the strongest players of those particular suits have been doing the best, right? Like the fact that we're seeing like the strong Pale Rider and Exia coming out of Bozos, and then we've got like strong Sazabi and like I mean, I don't even, honestly, everybody's pretty good. Coming up to this point, we're in the top 6 technically now, I believe, so I'm not even going to say specific names because everybody's really good, and it all just comes down to who plays better.
Yeah, Powerpuff Girls now on their offense. Looks like the large majority of the team opting to go for underneath that bridge, but here it is. Trying to fight for that high ground on the opposite side. That's going to be Ashmar going for that initial damage. Does poke away and trades for very little damage onto him right now. Dom on the low, though. might kind of be interesting here, as it's not that same kind of Pale Rider hold that we've been seeing that actually opens it up. Batty ends up picking up one. That's going to be Gundam going down to Zabi now a little bit more free, but the res is there coming out from the Dom. So it's back up to a 6v6. The first tick about to come in now for the Powerpuff girls. You can see now Zabi trying to play with his Methus, but he's getting charged now, pulled in 482, 100, and he will go down. That's the tank line gone for the defense.
Yeah, that was a really nice focus to break that shield on the Zabi. And I mean, this game I feel is so much about the Doms and how they're playing within this game, but this is going to be a very quick first pick, and oh my gosh, almost 7 minutes. Now they are going to have to just not quite take all 4 ticks. It's going to be about 3.5 ticks that they need to take, but 7 minutes is about the maximum amount of time that you could possibly have to try to get this in. Whoa, they are just immediately running over the defense. It feels like almost inevitable they're going to get at least 1 tick or at least somebody on point after this push.
And it's that high ground push. Mahiru is in play once more now for the Judo practitioners, but the Dom gets a little bit too aggressive there, and he gets taken out now. We'll see if they can try and get the finish as the res comes through. No, it will not. Turn A has gone down. Now the offense in a pretty good spot. They do have 3 on point, currently about to secure their second tick, and the Powerpuff girls are running away with things. The Ashmar punch being utilized as well, taking out Chaotic. He does get rezzed up. A gun take in the middle of the action, uses that charge to buy a little bit more time, but it's not going to be enough. He will ultimately go down, picking up Kaiser along the way, but Chaotic once more will fall. The defense are in absolute shambles as the third tick comes in for the Powerpuff girls.
Yeah, they're just all the defense is just pushing in one at a time. They're stopping it from going up too much, but they are just slowly falling. We see the ult. The Methus ult, I think, was actually active on the Dom. The Dom is getting a ton of mileage now with his own ult. It's going to be 6 people down. That's going to push so many people off of the point, even if they do manage to get back, and that is going to be enough. And it's going to be a very, very quick game, maybe the quickest game that we've had all day on offense there for the Judo practitioners.
Wow. What? That was 2 minutes essentially on that offense, and it really did come down to Casino doing an amazing job, I think, on that Dom. And we're seeing why he's so incredibly strong. That Screaming Nimbus is great for delaying, but it's also great for as an initiator, keeping yourself alive. I think Dom was the first mobile suit that I played during the network test earlier this year, and I immediately fell in love with him as a quote unquote support mobile suit. He just dishes out so much damage, and his dueling capabilities are amazing.
Yeah, it looks like my picture is frozen again, but at least it's less than an embarrassing pose this time. But yeah, I agree with you. Dom, it can do so much, right? I think it's maybe the most unique suit in the game, right? It's tanky, and it's a support, and it does damage in its own strange way. And the laser is a very unique move within itself to have within that kit. And its movement, of course, is maybe the most unique of all of the movements. So just a whole lot of weird things. Like, I'm sure I can fix my camera pretty soon if we're going into something. But honestly, sorry, first of all, I gotta say I said the wrong name again. That was, of course, Powerpuff Girls that managed to take that very strongly with Casino, who is a name that I have heard before for sure, playing on that Dom. And I mentioned this before, but I feel like the Dom play, especially on that map and especially between those two teams, was really what decided it. And Casino is just playing so well.
Yeah, so congratulations. Powerpuff Girls will be moving on to the loser semifinals, which will be taking place tomorrow. And they'll be awaiting, of course, the winners of the Tekka versus Inarizaki match. That is also be taking place in losers quarterfinals. That'll be taking place right after this break. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we get back, we'll have our next match right after this.
Don't know if we're going to break. I think so. I gotta say,
Wait,
if we're not going to break, that was my point. I know. No. Okay, I'm gonna fix my mic. I can't. All right, I'm gonna fix this.
Oh, that was so one-sided. I just thought it was over. Okay, never mind. No break.
It's all right.
Caster's brain just broke. We're waiting on map number 2, and let me go back real quickly, check our logs. So map number 2 is actually going to be Mountain R&D. So that one is going to be interesting. Because we haven't seen Mountain R&D today quite yet, right? We did get to see one domination map, and that was on Missile Base. Mountain R&D plays a little bit differently. We do have 2 points, A and C, which are on the outside, and then B, which is on the underground portion of this one. This is another one of those maps where Pale Rider is going to be, I think, one of the most essential parts of your composition.
Yeah, I was mentioning this before, but this is an extremely chaotic map, right? Like this is one of the maps where you can very easily get flanked and run over if you're not paying attention, especially when you're on, for example, point B. There's so many different ways to enter the room. There are technically 4 different like areas above you that people can enter from into the center. You can get hit from 4 different directions, technically 2 on either side, and then both of the main entrances. So there's just so many different ways that people can come from. And when you're on either of the other sides, people can come across from the literally the opposite point in the entire game. They can come from there's just an infinite different number of places that you can approach from on pretty much all of these different points. So we do tend to see a lot of flankers, and we are actually, again, going to see the Zaku 2 ranged, which is a very strong unit potentially on this map if it can get into the right positions. We're going to be starting off with A, which is the not underground, one of the not underground ones.
Oh boy, Fusion took a lot of damage there, but he does have the heals to fall on back. Ashmar with the other flyer here on the right, but again, they're not able to find openings. Gasman was forced back. Unruly on the Sazabi will go down, and that's going to be opening now for the Powerpuff Girls, with the point unlocking to take A easily. Another cleanup as well. So no option to try and contest this whatsoever. So instant control coming out from the Powerpuff Girls. You can see Ashmar doing an amazing job so far, just holding that high ground now. His Pale Rider has almost infinite space to play off of, and Gasman will go down once more. And I don't think he could play that Zaku 2 against the squad that is just ready for the flank.
Yeah, if people are ready, then Zaku 2 can be tough. The nice thing, though, is that, of course, Zaku 2 does have the range. It does have the invincibility. It has the smoke canister, which can mean that you can just be a distraction. And so if everybody turns to shoot you, then your team can use that advantage to push in. But I don't know how practiced they are as this team. We haven't seen that happen throughout the matches that we've seen, or match game that we've seen from them so far. But we've got a pretty dominant first hold here for red team, where it's going to change in about 12 seconds. The big thing on domination is that when you're down to like this, you don't really want to push the point anymore, right? Because if you do a whole team fight and you get the point, you're going to get like 2 or 3 seconds to just make it happen. So you kind of want to just preemptively walk over to the B, which is what we were going to move over to next.
Yeah, you can see now the high ground being maintained. Dom is up here. They will have the Trans Am to play off of as well for the Powerpuff Girls. And this is basically Exia's playground once he has that Trans Am to be able to get in. But I don't even think they need that. The first pick going down. It is a 1-for-1 exchange with the reses coming out, though, as Zero finds one more. But point is about to unlock. They've got the Screaming Nimbus. They've got the Hades along with Trans Am to play off of here. And put the initial pick onto Batty, and there's the Screaming Nimbus coming on in. They want to play off of this to just create some space, allow their team to come on in, maybe even pick up 3 there for Casino on the Dom.
I was talking about the players that are just looking so good on their particular suits within this tournament, and Casino is for sure one of them. I'm surprised that this team went down into the losers bracket in almost round 1 and round 2 of the entire tournament. That's impressive from Zaki just to be able to knock them down. But they very much have a chance, I think, to make it back in the grand finals here, especially with this Dom play. It's looking so good.
Yeah, Casino just knew exactly when to pop that one as well. Point unlocked, 70% now for the Powerpuff Girls. Here comes the full push on out. They've got the energy cable, and that is the only G maneuver until they've got the Turn A Gundam ultimate up. But no, that push has been instantly thwarted now from the Powerpuff Girls. Point A will be our next spot now, and Powerpuff Girls starting to move in for it.
Yeah, just even getting a pick at the very end right there, or even 2 picks. And yeah, you can see how quickly you can get from 1 point to another on this map. That's the other really unique thing about it, is that they're not staggered in ways that they're blocked off. You're just there. You just take one little hallway and you're there immediately. So the fact that they had more people up when that ended, it didn't give the other team an opportunity to move in position. Oh my gosh, everyone's going down with the help of that Exia from behind, just flanking all the way through to their spawn. That was a little bit of a missed shot right there to shoot in the ground. But this is looking like this is probably going to be already this very first round of this game 2 going to Powerpuff Girls if they can just hold on just a little bit longer.
Yeah, they've got Turn A G maneuver up, I believe, but I don't even know if they're going to be able to get in for free. It's just going to be free shooting for that Pale Rider. Dom also can deal with flying types extremely well, and as soon as he pops it, he gets a trade on the Unicorn at the very least, but he gets instantly taken down. Unicorn is rezzed on up. Ashmar will fall, and that's going to be the Powerpuff Girls cleaning things up. Now, they do get that Hades ultimate down, but it's only for 1 exchange before he falls, and it's Powerpuff Girls taking 100-7 in our first half.
Wow, that is, I mean, just between this round and the previous round of attack that we saw on Flak Fort, Powerpuff Girls is looking like a really strong team. And, you know, I mentioned this earlier, but I got some little information from the different teams. Thank you to Powerpuff Girls. Most of them submitted their responses. I got to say a shout out to myself. I'm old now for esports age, but Casino and Detta, they both said that they've played games from even like before Unreal Tournament 99. So they have been playing for a long time. These are OG shooter players, so I appreciate that. You know, represent the non-boomers, represent the boomers, please.
No, I mean that makes sense for Casino, right? Yeah, especially if he's going to be on Dom. So you got the Rockets and you got like the LG, and so he's just connecting everything. So it makes so much sense. And I think when we first started playing, like my friends and I started playing, we're all just like, oh, okay, well, yeah, our one friend is gonna love Dom because you know he comes from Quake and he comes from Unreal and stuff like that. So it makes so much sense now.
It's true. I didn't even think about that. That's actually hilarious. That's super perfect. And yeah, it does actually really show through. So that's really cool to see. But this team is, yeah, really impressive. A few of them have said that they like have zero competitive experience. This is definitely the first time together as a competitive team. So I'm loving what I'm seeing. And here we go. Round number 2 in game number 2. We're fighting for B.
Yeah, and it's basically match point now. Coming out from the Powerpuff Girls, and oh man, they've already lost out on one on the Judo Practitioner's side here as they are forced back. Once again, the Marasai does find one pick for themselves, but for the time being, it's still at a standstill. Now, they might have a slight advantage as they charge forward here with the turn A. And he does have the positioning here, and they force them back. So their first opening now coming out from them, and I'm glad that, you know, we didn't see them start off with what was, I think, suboptimal with that Zaku 2 range going into this composition earlier on. This time, they're starting it off with a turn A, they're starting it off with the Marasai, they're finding the picks, and so this is going to help them stem the bleeding just a little bit. The Barbados finds a pick onto that Sazabi. They basically stopping the push before it even starts.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of Marasai on this level. I'm one of those players who just auto picks Marasai as soon as we see this level. There are so many like little hallways that are exactly the range of the Marasai spear. Either the ones on the side of this point, the ones up there. You know, if you're one level up, there's those little tiny hallways that you can just get people through, even when they're peeking. It's like literally like fish in a barrel at this point. So I'm a big fan of Marasai. I haven't played it actually as much since the spear got slowed down, but I'm sure the angles are still really good. And wow, that's a lot of people holding that high ground.
Yeah, and they were prepared for that. You can see the rotation out is not going to work out for the Powerpuff Girls, who were able to get basically full. It was 44 to 2% ultimately at the end there. But for the Powerpuff Girls now, just maintaining this high ground presence, this was the key to success in the first round here on Mountain R&D, and they are going for it once more. They are able to force them back, and point is unlocking. But they should have the full regroup on the other side for the Judo Practitioners, but again, it's about being able to break this defense, and they haven't been able to do so quite yet, but they're challenging from the other side now. Almost got the point, but now there it is, the 2% coming in for them as they force back. You can see Barbados getting to the thick of things, not really finding the pick there though.
Yeah, getting a little bit of damage, actually forcing a lot of self-damage on just from the AoE explosions, which is kind of funny. Ooh, nice. That was definitely a good call out. To jump down there and challenge a Marasai, you definitely have to have that level of information, otherwise you just might get speared. But that is a really nice position to hold, having 3 people at least up there. You really want the high grounds, as usual. You can do some sneaky little things out of the sides, but if you have the high ground, it is very hard to push these points. And, holding pretty far forward, actually.
Yeah, they've almost got the Unicorn Ultimate up as well, but hey, all they need is the Barbados one to finish that one off. They do end up losing out Gasman, but it's a 2-for-1 exchange, and they have the space to go in. They don't actually get the point quite yet, but they ultimately get it in the end. It'll be about 5 or 6%. That's all they get here, as they get the rest of the clean team wipe on to the Powerpuff Girls, and then transition for that A-hole. They need to go for that high ground immediately and make sure they do not lose that one. You can see Marasai getting up there instantly to try and get that tether, try and pull someone in. There it is. He goes fishing. It's the Dom, but he's the one that ends up falling.
That was such a good reaction from the other team, but we are going to see now the turn A ult being used very offensively. A lot of people really close to their spawn, and it did do quite a bit of damage and stopped them from being able to move forward. That's going to chunk the team a lot. They probably don't really want to walk back either. That's an awkward spot, but it didn't really confirm any kills either, so I'm not sure if it's exactly what you wanted of it. You really need to get a lot of mileage out of that turn A ult, otherwise it just charges too slow. Oh, but we're going to see the Unicorn ult, and now immediately wasted. That is rough.
Yeah, the Screaming Nimbus comes in from the other side, and you can see why. Again, Dom, such a huge MVP in all of these games right now. Turn A has fallen as well as they're trying to go for that retake, or at least try to stall for as long as possible. And it's going to be 37% ticking up now for the Powerpuff Girls to try and even things out. This one looking a lot more competitive than we had in round number 1. Might actually send us to round number 3 with the way that the Judo practitioners have come back here in round number 2.
Yeah, there is very much the possibility. I mean, the fact that they already have a lead is huge when it's looked so dominant. Wow. The tracking with the laser is so good, too. I mean, that's it's really interesting that this is, I guess, any sort of like champion hero that you would call in any game that you have to track and use a projectile at the same time. But if you're good at both of them, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, very few characters like that for now, but it does look like Powerpuff Girls might have the advantage in this fight. Point will be unlocking in 12 more seconds. Gasman will not go without his squad. He's getting the backup of Gasman here to try and challenge that height at the very least. And it'd be important that turn A, if he can get some free shots off from that high ground platform, would be huge. But you can see they still have to deal with this. He goes in for that charge, finds one, and they instantly take out Batty. Huge coordination play coming out now from the Judo practitioners here, who do find one, but they need to find a little bit more. The Hades is there. They're going to be able to fight back into this one. Point is still being contested for now, but it's the man advantage now for the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, that was a tough spot to fight from the turn A, just having to be in the middle of that entire battle. You really want to have some angles, but that is a team kill. And it looks like this is going to be the spot where this ends. So this will be B being held. Like I said, there's a bunch of different ways to fight into B, but it also can be very, very hard to actually get into because every single place that you push in from, you're technically vulnerable. And I love these angles that they're holding on defense. They're not vulnerable to the people on the top. They've got really good angles on people walking through the little hallways. And yeah, look at this. You have to jump down and commit, and the committal is going to hurt a lot.
And there's 3 G maneuvers now in play for the Powerpuff Girls. They've got the funnels down. I believe they might have had Unicorn Ultimate as well. And so that's going to be the 2-0, both on this map and in the set coming out for the Powerpuff Girls. Now they are moving on to tomorrow's matches. But man, we got to see that maybe the matchup between Powerpuff Girls and Inarizaki was a little bit closer than the 2-0 shows on the scoreline in our bracket.
Yeah, they are looking extremely strong. And, I said this earlier, I love seeing the teams that make the losers bracket runs because that means that there's something special with them, right? And that team for sure has something special. They are easily capable of making grand finals, I would say. There are a lot of teams that are very capable of taking this entire tournament. And, I mean, hey, it's the teams that we have left. So I'm really glad to see it. And I'm glad that each team's bringing something different to the table as far as, like, how they're playing, their kind of flex picks sometimes, the actual maps that they choose to play, right? The fact that we've seen some domination maps that have actually been picked, especially like in the losers bracket, it's been really interesting. And some teams, they just choose not to try to play that game type at all. It's just very interesting, and we're seeing different things, despite the fact that we are seeing, like you said, this core of a certain set of good suits. It's very, very different play styles, and honestly, I have no idea what's going to happen within this next, few matches. I think we've only got one more match today, but of course, all the matches tomorrow are super up in the air for me.
That's right. So Powerpuff Girls will be moving on to the loser semifinals, which will be taking place tomorrow. But we figure out who their opponent is tonight. We have one more match remaining here for the breakout series Halloween Havoc, and that's going to be Tekka versus Inarizaki in the losers quarterfinals. We're going to take a short break. We're going to get that match set up, and when we get back, we'll have one more final match for the evening. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back right after this.